And welcome back. We're picking up where we left off last time in the Banished Vault. We're 13 turns into this system. We've got most of what we want down here for assembling 3 stacks of stasis, which is what we want to do. Difficulty is I need the fuel to safely get down there and do it. And back. They're down and back, basically. Pass the hazard there. Successfully pass it. So they're in orbit. They also can't land right now. Okay. So let's have you get up to orbit. Transfer fuel. Oh, actually, I need... This is the one that needs to go down. This is the one that needs to go down, yes. So to do that, I need... Where is this one to go down? You know, we have one thruster. This is the other way around. Although I might technically want to send... Oh, no, they got 2 people there. Okay. So 2 stacks of fuel, because that's what you need for the trip. I still for earlier math. And then you need 1 to land. Take the smaller bit to land. But you need the bigger engine because of the gravity of the planet. Go. Eight fuel there, 1 to land, 1 to take off, 8 fuel to get back. So it's tight. Okay, so he's stuck in orbit with one fuel. This big ship, we can't land anywhere that requires thrust to land. Okay, the Explorer is ready for more exploration. Yeah, I'm not going to bother with the 6 strength, high spin. Rest we'll try to explore. Maybe not. 47 is... Oh, and that's also not a ground location. 46 is pretty bad. 41's pretty bad. Three to get into the system. Okay. Although putting around the system isn't too bad, so yeah, we'll pay the 3 to get in and see if we can explore the system. Leave the fuel here, take the 3 stacks of CO2, land, and then we'll have to pick that one up when we get back to orbit, but we can do that, that's not a problem. Carbon, carbon, carbon. Make first of 27 stasis. So it's gonna take a little while to build, but we got that time. I actually want to take you to orbit. Yeah, I want to take that one to orbit. The logic being... Yeah, take you to orbit. You can go retrieve the guy who's stuck up there for the moment. So we get a little more production underway. Because the big ship can't land right now. But we can transit stuff up to it pretty well. And then the mass production of fuel begins. Got a lot of hungry ships here that we want fueled up. Okay, hazard roll. Okay, orbit's probably boring. Orbits usually are boring. Yeah. Ground site. 9 one knowledge sites. Nah, we're not picking that up. Over here, we're working on stasis. One of the 3 stacks is complete. Back to water production. 5 people working on water. Or on fuel. We also have a lot of 1 labor knowledge artifacts here. So this would be the place to loot for knowledge. We're going to try to brute force bring back the 1s. "13 turns to go. One has 11 one knowledge artifacts. Okay, so it's not worth coming into this rung with anything that's got to risk running the chaotic orbit. Two stacks done. Next turn, we'll finish up the 3rd stack and be ready to leave. At which point we're just in pulling knowledge out of the system and as much fuel for the large number of ships. There was a 5 here, right? Yeah, there was the 1-5. Do I want to retrieve that 1-5? Let's say yes. I think we're also out of water on the... I got 1 water there. We'll drag the 6 water back. 7 is pretty good if I need emergency fuel somewhere. Okay, so burn to orbit. Swapping to the efficient drive. Burning over there. 12 turns to go. Okay, braking to orbit. Or we can pick up the missing fuel. We now have the minimum fuel to get to orbit over the refueling site. Just to give you an idea of how close of a fuel burn that is. Okay, so that means we'll have to bring fuel up to that ship. That's not too bad. And we don't necessarily know what's down here. That's going to be a long burn down. We'll find out. Really, 2 places down here. How terrible is the fuel? At the point where we would want to be running multiple stopovers is where that is. Oh yeah. Oh, that's a long. And it's that bit in there, right? It's the 6, 9. We're getting at 6 out of the yeah. No, I don't think it's even worth trying to pull out from down here. Even if there was stuff down there. So that probably means we're really done with the exploration. Yeah, I think we're done with the exploration. We'll leave him here as the last guy to leave, because he's got a small ship. Small fuel-efficient ship, so he can launch via himself. Swap engines for the landing. Yeah, it was just the 1-5. 11 turns to go before the gloom arrives. Back to orbit. You can safely get past the hazard. Back to the ship to drop off the knowledge, the iron, and the water. You can't land because of the engine we got on you. Okay, so let's... we don't have enough carrying capacity to pick up from the planet. So we're going to send these guys back to the vault. Drop the stasis off. It might come back for more fuel. I think we got the time, right? It's 2 turns out, 2 turns back, so they got 7 times on station if they... Yeah, pretty much. Just quick travel there and back. Ten turns to go for the gloom arrives. Meantime, drop the knowledge in the load, water, a little bit extra iron. Do I leave the fuel behind? I think not. Was this one of the locations where we had like 10 ones? Yes, this is the location with 10 ones. Okay, we're gonna have you take the fuel with you. Actually, how much fuel? I might leave some behind. So it's 2 to get there, 3 to land. So I need a total of 5 if I want to get on the planet. Yeah, so we leave the 2 9 stacks back. Let's send you back. I'm just cranking out fuel. I think next turn we'll cycle to cranking out all the artifacts. Because we've got a big cargo hold in orbit, so we can drag a lot back in one trip. Nicely, all the stasis piles up in the Vyoevot stasis hibernation room. So you can shove as much stasis in as you need. So that's actually enough for us to do 3 jumps. We're going to do 1 here, so we're good to skip 2 if we need to get the easy enough Scriptorum location. We'll bring the inefficient engine along so it can do a landing. Help with fuel refining and extraction. Back here, we're going to spend our 10 actions, generate all the artifacts. And we'll start hauling it to orbit. Eight turns to go. Okay, so you can go up to orbit with that. That's what I meant to do. You can go orbit with that and get loaded. So for the transit over there, besides needing a pilot, we need 3 fuel. Okay, so that's actually enough fuel. We can fill the rest of the cargo hold up with more stuff. We'll probably load it up with another hook of fuel as well. Okay, do I want you to come back down to the planet, or do I want you to transit? That's a good question. Air 5 is where we're loading up the cargo. So that's ready to transit. How much do we need to get these to land? Not gonna show me. I think it's 2 fuel. Might be 3 fuel. 2 fuel. The cargo ship's going to require a bigger one, but we can bring it down to the planet. Okay. So then you can land. You can't land yet, but you'll be able to land next turn. Because we have you enough fuel, yeah. And then you can land this turn. You can take the cargo ship. All the terrible artifacts back to base. And probably get back 4 more fuel if I wanted more fuel. Okay, so everyone's landed on the planet or on the way back with a massive cargo hold. You do have to be careful not to bring so much fuel back that it clogs up the inventory, but fuel is what we're making today. Okay, you're back. Time to drop all the knowledge. 10 more knowledge for the vault. 43. We'll leave that stack of fuel behind. And we'll have you start coming back. And back here, we're mass producing fuel. I might want to bring a stack of water back with us as well. Yeah, bring a stack of water back as like sort of concentrated extra fuel. I need it. Later. Five turns to go for the Gloom arrives, so I think we're going to be leaving before the Gloom gets here. I don't see us hanging around that long. We're going to wait for this guy to get in orbit. And then we're just going to drag up as much fuel as we can to him and then probably leave. Maybe might go back down for one more extraction cycle. Maybe. Okay, so he's in orbit. We can basically fit 12 stacks of fuel on him. You don't need to leave, you can leave last. I think that's the minimum for you to leave. Yeah, so I think... You would come back down with a cargo ship. Yeah, I think we have all these guys break to orbit to do some transfers. And go right back down. Here, so Air 5 is full, pretty much. To make them a little bit more fuller. But honestly, I don't really need the inventory that clogged. So we'll just accept that they're going to have the partial from flying back. Have the one empty inventory from flying back. That works out for me. Didn't save action points. Oh no, the ones on the planet don't have action points. The ones in the orbit that show on the land have the action points. Okay. Okay. Now I need to evaluate how much fuel we're going to use on the way back. You're just going to burn when the time comes, right? So you're just going to spend your 2 fuel and get back. There's no way I can break that up to spend less than 2 fuel. So it's 4 fuel to get back if I do a straight burn. Or I can go to orbit. Swap engines. Yeah, so we save 1 fuel that way. So I think we want like 2 stacks of 9 and a stack of 3 here. We can do like 2 stacks of 9 and a stack of 4. 2 stacks of 9 and a stack of 3. That way we've got an empty slot in each of these guys when we get back, is what I'm thinking. We've got 3 turns to make that happen. Which I think is easy enough to do. If anything, I'm going to overproduce. Your turns to go. Okay, so we've got both engine types and the small ones that we want. Last slot to be filled with 3. Could arguably do with another 9 on you if I wanted to squeeze out more. And then you're actually the complicated one with trying to leave, I suppose. Looking 3 to break orbit. That's another 6. So 5 on you. Although I probably don't want them completely. Specifically that one I don't want completely full of fuel. Over preparing the fuel, I think. Let's get you in the vault. That ship's full, and we don't have time to go there and back again. Okay, second to last turn before the gloom arrives. This is going to be the last burst of fuel we're going to extract. Well, the last one we're going to just do everyone do something as far as making fuel. The next one we're going to have to be a little pickier because I need to start leaving. So I need to leave enough action points to leave, which is 2 action points-ish per ship. That's how that's going to work out. So you're ready. You want another 9. You're ready. You're ready. So it's just loading you up. And I maybe don't want to overload it. So we're probably actually really close to where we want to be. I might just say that we leave. Come here. When it had started, we have lost half our population overnight. Since then, our losses have conformed to an appearing progress. Over the course of several lived years, we have transmitted our initial findings, but any further study would be suicide. We have run out of turns. Every turn after this one, the solar system will be slowly consumed. Turn all your ship and exiles to the vault and begin hibernation. Technically, there is a missing S on that ship, but fine. Not a big concern. So we got you in the vault, and the rest we want to kind of be thinking about leaving. Okay, so I think you just burn straight there, right? Because it's just a 2 burn from you. So we'll use one of your actions. Make a drop of fuel. And then we have you leave. You need 2 to leave. I think the only one that doesn't need 2 is you. So that technically gives you 1 more action that you can use to make fuel. And then you need to leave. So the passengers I can have also work here to get more fuel produced. If I wanted more fuel. I think there's another 6 fuel. Sure. Make sure we're not leaving anything in orbit useful. No. Engine swap. Away. Break orbit. Engine swap. Or 2 orbit, then break orbit, second swap. Okay, get to orbit. Engine swap, break orbit back to the vault. There we go. And we end turn and watch the bottom of the system disappear. There goes the bottom of the system. End turn and watch more of the system disappear. And we're now at the point where we can load everyone into the vault. Doing a little bit of micro with our fuel here. Not super important. Okay, all 8 people are loaded into the vault, ready to go, and if anything we have too much fuel. I think I brought too much fuel. Begin hibernation. Again, once more into the dim starlight. Our chase has endured for such a time the void is more comfortable than gravity. Our faith wavers. We have enough stasis to hibernate all our exiles. All our exiles are present on the vault. We leave the system. We have 43 knowledge, so I can't do this one. 10% chance to keep 2 fuel after starting maneuver. Can't do this one. 1 extra die when resolving hazards. That's actually quite strong. 2 titanium entering another system is reasonably strong early in the run. Close enough to the end, I don't care. Artifact Surveyor. And 5 more artifacts gathered to this location. An option. Ooh, I'm getting a toss-up here between do I do Resource Extractor 3 or Fuel Producer in orbit? We're close enough to the end of the run, I suspect, where I don't need that Fuel Producer. It's tempting as it is. We're going to go the Resource Extractor. Because if we get stuck in a situation where we need 3 to mine something, the moment this is offered, it's a possibility that you'll need it, is how I believe it works, balance-wise. So, we may now need this, effectively. I can make do with not making fuel in orbit. I can't make do without extracting resources sometimes, so that's where we're going. Could grab you, I'm not going to bother. Conclude hibernation. We've arrived at the star Fommimnat. Swirling sandstorm or a dim sun. We encountered a dust system of only asteroids. Okay, so this is not a system we can win it, because there is no hallowed planet. The run cannot end here. On the other hand, I have very little reason to do much in this system. Yeah, very little reason to do much in this system. We go out and explore for artifacts. That's what we would be doing. That's what we would be doing. Oh, and it was a good thing we didn't do the fuel producer. The fuel producer wouldn't have been usable here. There's no orbits. They're all asteroids. Yeah. Do I explore the system for knowledge, or do I just say screw it and move on to the next? We could just say screw it and move on to the next. Let's start evaluating how terrible it is to actually get into the system. So, highest faith guy, if you were to take... not that ship. Small one. Small one. Down to the bottom of the system, well, you could get down there for 3 fuel. The other people would struggle a little bit to get down. So if we find good artifacts, it'd be a bit of a pain to pull it out. You could get down there. We can find out if it's even worth coming down. And then it's 1 fuel to go check the other site, and then you could leave if you needed to. All in the same tank of fuel. Yeah, I think we'll hang around here and see if we can do some exploration. Get some knowledge. Plus all these don't require thrust to land on. Yeah, so even the massive cargo ship can land if it needs to. Okay. So yeah, we'll send you to basically the farthest place away. That 3 and that 2 are probably the only hazards I feel comfortable running. Maybe the 4. Maybe the 4. I'll lose 1 to 6 faith. 1 to 2 faith. Yeah, we might do the 3 and the 4. 3, 4, and 2. Not going to bother the 6. Not going to bother the 6. Okay, that one is away. For polling purposes, I can leave engines behind. Take extra fuel if I want. Yeah, the struggle it is that I've got lots of... Okay, so we'll have an empty space here because I can merge these 2 stacks once that person's recovered their faith. Obviously I want to go through the 4 with the person who's 4 or higher. But I want to go through the 2 here, and I probably want to take the 2 on the big ship. Yeah, let's do that. Okay, probably taking way more than I need. But it is what it is. Okay. End turn. We could send him out, actually, with the last ship if I need to. So let's decide what we're doing with him next. 1 knowledge, 1 artifact. Okay, so we'll harvest that one just because we can. Go back straight back to the ship with that. 1 10 knowledge artifact. Okay, we'll harvest that one and go right back to the ship. Some resources there if I want the resources. I'm not too worried. I was already decided we're not going to go past the 6. Honestly, right now I don't have a good reason for him to even leave. He's got a ship. He can go somewhere. Is he going to go anywhere? I don't have a good place for him to go. So no, he's going to stay right there. You know what? Get more faith while you're waiting. Okay, what do we got here? 1 knowledge 5. Take that. Make the carbon, because we got no other reason not to take the carbon. 0 fuel burned. Actually move over to the next asteroid, so we'll do that. Anything interesting on the asteroid? 1 knowledge 1 item. Okay. Again, I don't really have the storage capacity for CO2, so we'll leave it behind and take the carbon. Take the artifact. And then you probably go back to port for the moment, like these guys are. And it's down the lower portion of the system where we're going to run into things that we might want. You might as well continue gaining... In the meantime, gaining more faith. So I don't have a good place to send you out yet. Okay, first roll of the hazard. 99% chance to get past. we go. Succeed on the 2-up roll. Maybe not surprising. Anything interesting on this asteroid? 110 knowledge artifact. Sure, we'll harvest that. Anyway, we worked out there wasn't anything worth picking up here. And I don't need that RN carbon. Carbon's maybe a little tempting because I don't think I got any of that stockpiled. Nope, we got a stack of that stockpiled. Really not tempting then. One knowledge, 5 debris. Okay. Would like the methane more than the water, so I'll keep the methane. Next tight. One knowledge, 5 debris. I would like that more than the methane, so we'll leave the methane here. We can always come back for it later if we really want it. Or the next one. Oh, there are 5 knowledge debris. Okay, we might pick that up in exchange for leaving some of the fuel behind. Okay, we got through. Was it worth transitioning? No. In fact, I'm not even going to bother harvest this one. Okay. Back to the other one. Back through the hazard. Roll the dice. Anything interesting here? 1 5 knowledge debris. Okay, so it'll be worth harvesting that one so that when the people come by to pick it up, they pick it up and then leave. Yeah, this poor person's just like, yep, nope, you're going to be gaining more and more and more faith because I don't need you to go anywhere. Or actually, I might want him to go somewhere. I might want him to be the one to go pick up the 5 knowledge faith. Let's think about that. Yeah, a little bit fuel expensive, but I think that'll work. Down you go. Everyone assigned for the moment. End the turn. Breathe there. And then I think you can spend the 2 to get back. Okay, that'll work perfectly. I'll figure out if we want to transition through the 4 with a bigger ship. You know, that was uncomfortably close for some of the parts on that dice roll. Because I'm looking at here, I'm like saying 1, and this one's like thinking if it's going to be on 3. It's like, oh no. Yeah. 2-up roll, and I was uncomfortable on it. It's dice rolls for you. Ooh, 20 knowledge plant. you've arrived, so toss the artifacts in. Let's actually get you up to 2, so you'll still be 1 in the next system. I'm thinking I don't want these guys to leave again. I don't see the advantage of them leaving right now. So I might literally just have them stay here. Yeah, literally gonna have them stay there. There's a knowledge here. There's one knowledge. Okay. Zero energy to burn over there, so you can pick up 3 fuel from here, from this pile of fuel. And you can pick up the other 6. Two up on 4 dice is not too hard to do. But if you're not looking at all the dice, sometimes that can be a bit sketchy. Pick up our fuel here again. How much fuel do I have here? Oh no, it's going to cost me 1 fuel to get here, so even if I'm picking up what I'd be transiting to pick up 2 fuel, costing me a fuel. Transiting back, costing me a fuel, leaving me with the same amount of fuel. So yeah. That way, if we decide we want to pick up something from there when the scout gets there, which is the next turn, we're in a position where we can make the burn from there. If not, we burn back to the vault because we're done. We've got the 3 in the vault, which are, to be fair, quite poor. Okay, rolling the hazard. Anything interesting there? One knowledge. Okay, so functionally not interesting there. Okay, you've arrived to... Oh, I forgot to harvest the item. We'll be setting out next turn with that 5 knowledge artifact, and then when everyone's back, everyone's back. So we got 2 out and about. You can begin the burn back. one out and about. This was the system I was debating skipping, so what we're picking up is better than nothing. Up to 96 knowledge. Yeah, not a bad haul for just going into the system to explore. And there we are. Everyone's back in the vault. Ships are pretty much fueled for the next one. In fact, I think we still have more fuel than we probably need, even being an entire system with no fueling. Beginning hibernation. Again, once more into the dim starlight, our chase has endured for such a time that the void is more comfortable in gravity. Our faith wavers. Surface Observatory reveals the terrain hazards on the surface of this planet. So I believe this is an orbital, so it's an orbital where I can know what's on the planet without having to land. 4 cargo, 2 travelers, mass 3, thrust -1. Swift ship. 1 cargo, 1 thrust. Or 1 cargo, 1 traveler. So this is like the scout ship, but a little bit bigger, big enough that I can actually transport an extra person on it. Gain an extra blueprint to purchase during hibernation. There's a chance we're not going to hibernate again, so that's not very strong at this point. Navigating reveal hazards on adjacent locations. When using silica, gain 1 extra silica. Pick those up. Those don't have to be assigned to anyone. And then we'll take you and we'll actually assign you to the guy who's got 4 faith. So we can know what the hazards are on the planets down below. You know, we'll grab the 1 extra blueprint during hibernation. And we'll conclude hibernation. Roalmet, a garden. An unknown beacon has been identified in this system. Although that might not matter very much if we are simply going to run down to the planet, throw the Scriptorum down, and claim victory. Which I suspect may be the answer. It's a 1 thrust landing on the planet. Can you do a straight burn down there? Not on 1 stack down, 1 stack up. Although that presents a potentially different option. What about the cargo ship? The cargo ship wouldn't be as efficient, fuel efficient. And it definitely would have to stop in the middle. But it can carry more fuel. So 16 fuel down. That would give them 2 fuel to land on the lower quality drive. Although, oh no, that's not enough. That is 1 short. Although I could carry another stack of fuel. I could carry another stack of fuel if I needed to. And then we're only... I don't need the full stack. That is a ballsy maneuver, but I'm going to do it. The smart answer is not to just brute force through the thing here and probably do some fueling station part of the way down the system. We might intentionally try planning to do a refueling station for the return trip. Right. Technically, if we get down there, we chronicle... We put the script form down, we get the chronicle completed. There's no return trip. But planning for it, just in case we get down there and something goes wrong and we can't make it work, it's, I think, reasonable to do. Okay. Okay. Now, the big ship can't land on any of the planets. We can still take it to orbits. Oh, and the really big one can come in here. So if there's something interesting in here, we probably want to explore that with them. Okay. Yeah. This is maybe not the best thing to be doing exploration with, doing exploration of the northwest area, but it'll be fine. Won't be very fuel efficient, but it'll be fine. And then... should do that. No, that won't work. Okay. So, for a fuel refiner, I need... worst case scenario. I'm going to need at least 1 titanium, 1 iron for the food producer. I'm going to need... oh, I'm going to want water there. I can technically take water along with another ship. We just wanted to brute force it. We might contemplate that. The water itself is 2 more iron. And then if we have it a deep deposit, we'll need another 5 to guarantee that we can extract it. So everything going to corner plan, that should work. Okay. You can fly out to there to make fuel. Still got 3 other people that can do work. We've got 3 other ships that can do work. I'm gonna send you exploring. And then I think we'll actually just hold on to the last 2 here. Yeah, they could be out doing stuff. But we're going to hold on to them until we know what we need them for. And we're going to be working on getting other people ready to go out. We'll have another 4. So we're going to save the 2 ships here. So that we got enough to transport everyone when we know what we need. Oh, and this is a slow system enter. It's 2 turns to get even to the first rung, the highest rung. Another turn down, another turn down. The last one is actually pretty quick, but really expensive to enter in terms of time. And if the gloom's chasing us, we need to have 2 turns, an extra turn ahead of the gloom, because the gloom eats a rung every time. So if it's here and we're only just leaving, we won't outrun it going that bit. Okay, no hazards on the water. So I have over prepared, but it's sometimes better to over prepare than under prepare. We don't want to get methane here, right? Yeah, we can get methane elsewhere. Better places elsewhere. Anything interesting in orbit there? Some alloy. That's interesting. Not what we need. Granted, we don't really need anything, so. Go to the planet. On the planet, there's more titanium, more methane, that's about it. And again, this is a place where we can mine titanium or methane. That's about it. Anything interesting in this orbit? No. On the planet. 8, 1 knowledge crystal. Yep, we're not mining that. We're not mining that. Let's find out what's on that planet. There are hazards on the planet, so we'd have to be careful in building. There are 3 10 knowledge skulls there. Okay. So I'm thinking we bring a ship around to harvest the skulls. Transit-wise, these ships don't need their bigger engine. They can take the smaller one along. 3 thrust out, 3 thrust back. Not too terrible. Okay. Just double check there wasn't anything interesting there. Oh, there was. There's 2 5 knowledge artifacts. We need 1 thrust, so you can't land to pick that up. Probably have you move down to help in here. Come down, explore that location. When you have actions, of course. We'll leave the 2 idols up there in case I want. No, we'll let them get the knowledge artifacts off that lump of rock. Here we go. Committed, everyone. Cycle a turn. We've got a hazard roll. Safely past the hazard. Engine swap for landing. No hazards on the planet. It's a hallowed planet. So next turn we win. We end the turn. And we can see what's in these orbits. Do you successfully get past? Yeah. This site is 1 knowledge 10 skull, so we'll harvest that even though we're never going to get back to base because we're going to finish the map first. 1 knowledge 10 skull. We'll harvest that even though you're not going to transport it. and then, yeah, we will just end the map. Technically, we could go do other stuff, but this is the point where we're just gonna... And the last bit of the chronicle. The repeaters fell silent soon after the gloom expanded and pushed us beyond connected space. The map of stars followed us clearly for a short time, then also followed suit. The story is ready. If you complete it, this journey of the vault will finish. So we've completed the story here. I'll do a quick read through of the whole thing here. I'll complete the story, and we'll be done. The Chronicle of the Vyoevot Vault. A mirage on the horizon drew the settlers from their landing zone. For weeks they traveled, and it never grew closer, until suddenly they happened upon a flat plain. The dim sun stood still overhead in the cloudless sky. A powerful light filled the sky, gales of wind tore the ground, the stars grew dim, and the sun fell weak. A final gust swept across the plain, and then silence. It is impossible to produce stasis on a vault. It's thought that the earliest interstellar craft did produce an early progenitor stasis, but the knowledge was lost over the centuries. The prevailing rumor is that gravity is required, but regardless of the reason, tradition prevails. The repeaters fell silent soon after the gloom expanded and pushed us beyond connected space. The map of stars followed us clearly for a short time, then also followed suit. The story is ready. If you complete it, this journey of the vault will finish. So we'll complete the story here. The chronicle is complete and inscribed into record chambers deep within the Erugia. It will transmit continually until death or the gloom takes it. This is the last written words of the surviving exiles. You've written a chronicle for the Erugia Vault, and your journey is complete. If you'd like to start a new journey, you have new configurations available to adjust the starting point of the journey. Okay. I don't think it actually gave me any new decisions here. I think we already had them unlocked. I just got the achievement for starting with 8 because I was interested in doing 8. So that was an achievement to run with 8 exiles. I wonder if I'm missing any of the other achievements. Presumably, because I got 24 unachieved. So there's one for going 25 systems, 13 systems, have 8 exiles with abilities, so on and so forth. So I'm mostly been playing to win. I suppose there's achievements just to see how far you can go without having to, without having one, I suppose. I'm trying to decide if there's any other interesting ones to pick up. What are the business? Have 4 exiles die at once. Okay. Not a lot of people have that one. 25th, 25th, 30th. So there's an achievement for going out to 30 systems. So just trying to go for as long as possible without actually failing. Yeah. Yeah. So at some point we can try to do instead of trying to win, try to see how far we can go. That will not be this run. If you're watching on YouTube, I hope you have been enjoying. You should see either today or tomorrow or potentially the day before. We'll see how many parts of Shadow Empire recording night Shadow Empire get put up. Obviously, that's not a continuation of this run because we just finished this run up here in the Banished Vault. But that's what you can probably expect to be taking the place of Banished Vault because that's what we're going to record after a break here. If you're watching on Twitch, I hope you have been enjoying as well. I am going to bring the stream down between games here while I go make the tea. When I get back from that making the tea, hopefully the Shadow Empire will be launched and we'll start a game of Shadow Empire. How many parts of Shadow Empire I will record tonight, I haven't decided. It'll be somewhere between 2 to 4, probably. So yeah, I hope everyone has been enjoying, whether you're watching this live on Twitch or later on YouTube or later on the Twitch VOD, I suppose. Later tonight, I'll be streaming Shadow Empire, although I'm going to do that after making a cup of tea. And if you want to see more Banished Vault, or at this point, the main thing to do with Banished Vault would be to see how far in number of systems we could go. Less focus on trying to win, and more to see how long the Exiles can live for. because frankly put, most of what's sort of challenging with this, we've worked out without like making it incredibly challenging. It's reasonably easy to win within a couple systems. The achievements, I think the most interesting achievements I haven't completed here are go 25 or 30 systems, which, with the way I play, would be intentionally trying not to win. That makes sense, right? It's just focus on getting fuel and stasis so you can sustain, and elixir, because obviously you will need to provide entertainment, let's say, to the Exiles. Keep their faith up for such a long run, because 30 jumps requires, would cause them to lose 30 faith. None of them start with more than 6, so you would be constantly having to refresh them to keep them functioning. But yeah, that'll be a different run. That won't be this run. If you're watching on YouTube, you can expect there to be Shadow Empire coming up, as well as the ongoing series of Terra Invicta and I'm trying to remember the other game of this one. Terra Invicta and Songs of Six. Although Songs of Six is probably coming to a close soon. If you don't tune into the Shadow Empire stream later tonight, the upcoming schedule is that we'll have Songs of Six being recorded tomorrow, and Terra Invicta being recorded on Tuesday, and then we'll be probably back to Shadow Empire on Wednesday, as I think the plan for the next 3 days. So with that, I'm going to wish you all the best of luck and a good time. Catch you all in the next part and or stream, and bye for now.